Dear students, I know before starting the second chapter, we have finished the first chapter. Few instructions I want to give you other than your chapter. I know that lockdown slowly they are finishing this lockdown, but many of the instructions they are being given by the government, especially the class 10th. Please listen to the instructions which are being given by the government and listen to your parents also, because they will guide you the right way. And moreover, if you people are going out for some reason, please wear the mask, use sanitizers timely, and don't move here and there without any reason. Stay at home. A good opportunity to you people to study at home, and if you will remain at home, I'm sure you will be safe from everything. Now I will start the chapter. So the chapter growth of nationalism. In the previous chapter we have read that the revolt of 1857, it gave rise to the nationalism. Now, what do you mean by nationalism? Nationalism refers to the feeling of oneness or love for one's country, and it is a common consciousness that emerges when people living in a common territory share some historical, political and cultural background, and they are having the same language, cultural values, and consider themselves as one nation. Simply, the definition you can learn that it is a feeling of oneness and common consciousness that emerge when we are living together. Now, what was the various factors which gave rise to the nationalism? The first factor, it is economic exploitation. You know that economic exploitation, India was exploited very badly by the Britishers. And the four different sections of the societies, that is the peasants, the artisans and craftsmen, the working class, the educated Indians, these were the four classes, four sections of the society which was treated very badly by the Britishers. Now how? The peasants, they were the main victims, because a large part of their produce they have to give in the form of land revenues and other taxes, and very less was left to them for their families. So therefore they started getting the money on interest from landlords and money lenders. Later they were not left with any money, they were not able to return those money to these people, and they became the victim of these landlords and money lenders also. Now next class, it is the artisans and the craft persons. As you know that all the raw material was taken by the Britishers. Very less raw material was left with the Indians, and whatever it was left, it was too costly for the artisans and craft persons to buy, because when they are buying those raw material at the high cost, they are not able to sell it at a high prices, because by the time they are going to sell, many more good things converted into finished good, they were flooded by the Britishers in the Indian army. So slowly these people, they stopped their working of weaving, spinning, etc. Third, it is your working class. The growth of modern industry, it gave a rise to a new class, that is a social class, that is a working class. Now this working class was exploited by the factory owners, because there was a large section of the population which was working over there, and they were not paying them the high wages. They were taking their work, or they were appointing them at the lower wages. Maximum work was done by them, maximum work was taken from them, but they were not paid according to that. So this working class was also humiliated by the Britishers. And now the last working class, that is the educated Indians. Now, educated Indians, as I told you earlier, that they were educated, but still they were not giving the high promotions. They were not given the higher salaries. Even they were not given the higher post in the British empire. And these people, being educated, they felt very bad when with a higher qualification they are working at the low grades, and they with their performances also they are not given the employment, or they were not given the promotions in the British rule. So these four classes, they were very much, or they were the main victim of the Britishers. So four of them, they were not happy with the policies of the Britishers. Now the second point, it is a repressive policies. Now repressive policies, certain policies opted, like Lord Lytton, he came as a viceroy to India, and certain policies adopted by him, like first one, he organized a grand darbar, because Queen Victoria, she was arriving to India, and at the same time, India, some of the regions of the India was suffering with the famines. People, they were dying without food, whereas a lavish party was held in Delhi, ignoring the needs of those people. Secondly, Lord Lytton, he introduced the Vernacular Press Act. Vernacular Press Act means to write anything in the paper against the Britishers. And the second, Indian Arms Act, arms weapon. So no Indian will be allowed to carry weapon without license. So this was again another you can say repressive policies, or in order to suppress the Indians, these kind of policies, they were opted. Third, the maximum age for the Indian civil services, it was reduced to 21 to 19 years, only for Indians, not for the Britishers. Then the import duties on British textile were removed. That was the source of income for the Indians, but the Britishers, they will not pay any kind of import duty. Then fifth point, it is very important, children. It's a Albert Bill, and Sir C.P. Albert, on the name of the Sir C.P. Albert, he was a law member of the Viceroy Council. He prepared a bill known as the Albert Bill, and a bill was introduced by Viceroy Lord Ripon. According to this bill, they want to solve, or they want to abolish judicial disqualification basis on race discrimination. Are you getting me? That is, they don't want that racial discrimination should be done between the Indians and in the Britishers while the selection of the people in judiciary. But when this law was introduced, this law was not liked by the Britishers, because they don't want to sit with the Indians to take any kind of decision, because they always said that our race is a superior race and Indian race, it is a inferior race. So the bill was withdrawn. Later on, Indians also hesitated against that, because when bill was removed, or when it was taken back for certain amendments, Indians, they too demanded that they should also be given the opportunities. Later, the bill was given, where again the more importance was given to the Europeans, and very less importance was given to the Indians. So next, it is a socio-religious reform movements. Many important reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Jobita Phule, Swami Vivekanand, Swami Dayanand, these were some of the prominent people. And you all know that India was suffering with the caste system, child marriage, dowry, parda system, sati, infanticide. These were some of the ill activities which are opted by the Indians during that time. So it was very necessary that these things should be removed from the society. Now see this paragraph, just go through this paragraph is very important. Please mark this paragraph. See, some of the reform movement like Brahmo Samaj, who founded? Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Arya Samaj, who founded? Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Ramakrishna Mission, Swami Vivekanand. Satyashodak Samaj, Jobita Phule. So these were the 4 important people. Many were there, but in your syllabus only few. So these were some of the people, those who opened, those who started certain reform movements, and in order why they started? In order to remove the ill practices opted by the Indian people. Now come to the Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He was one of the greatest social and religious reformer, and his main objective was to remove the social evils from the society. Therefore, he opened Brahmo Samaj, and he was in the favor that one should worship one God. There is one God only, and idol worship should not be there. More emphasis on prayers, meditations, charity, morality, etc., unity. These are some of the important things rather than to worship any of the image. Try to do all these things. Then he was very much against the rigidity of the caste system, sati system, parda system, polygamy. Polygamy means a husband having more than one wife. Okay, so he, with the help of the William Ventek at that time, he was a Governor General of India. So with the help of this person, he many of the reform movement, it was started by William Ventek, like Sati Act, Widow Remarriage Act, then Education, Women Education Act. So these were some of the acts which was started by the Lord William Bentinck. Now next it is a Jobita Phule. So Jobita Phule, he was a urban educated member of so-called low caste. He was very much educated, and he founded Satyashodak Samaj in order to bring the social justice, especially for the weaker section of the society. Then he widow remarriage movements and worked for the education of the women. Now some of the social reform movements, their contribution, like Swami Dayanand Saraswati, then Swami Vivekanand, they proclaimed the superiority of the